What is going on, everybody? Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday today, not Monday, Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Just got to get everything situated on TikTok. TikTok's been so weird lately where it doesn't let me open the chat automatically. I don't know why, but we got chat up. So we are good to go. What is going on? We have so much bowling stuff. It seems like as per usual, even though we're not even in the season yet, we've got all this fun stuff to talk about. We've got ball reviews that have gone live. We've got PBA Elite Tour that we can dig into a little bit. We've got those are the main two things that are going on right now, but we got other stuff going on too. We just had the IQ Sapphire and the Wicked Gremlin release. I have a little bit more info on the new Turbo Thumb system if we want to talk about that. I installed my very first one. That was the easiest thing I've ever done installing it, which was awesome. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and so much more. I am already getting warm. I'm yelling too much, so we're taking off the jacket. Hope you guys are enjoying. Remember, we're live on 4 different platforms right now. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Facebook. If you guys want to watch in a different format, you can go do that on any of those 4 platforms. Remember, the best way to get ad-free viewing is on Twitch using an Amazon Prime subscription. Remember, if you have Amazon, you get a free Twitch subscription. That gets you 1 month of ad-free viewing. So if you connect your accounts, you're good to go and you can watch this completely ad-free. But let's get it going. Who is the first person of the day? First person of the day was Johnny coming in first. Hey group, let's go. Zach can't wait. Good to see you, Johnny. Otherwise, Jazzy B, what is up? Turtle Guy, how you doing? Chris, how you doing? Good fella, legendary G Bryant, Aria, Jeff, Aaron, Brian, UA Cowboy, Chris, Vito, RJ, Lawrence, High Velocity, Mike, who do we miss? John, Samuel, Tattooed, Michael, Ralphie. How we hit everybody. I'm getting a little bit better at the roll call of everybody. I'm getting a little bit better at that. We're gonna keep improving on that. But let's get it going. What is the first question? Let's see. Who was question number 1 in here? Let's see. Good fella, love seeing you, man. What's up, G Bryant? Iria just got done with a coaching session with Zach Wilkins, teaching him how to slide, which is really cool. That is awesome. I'm glad Zach's into coaching. Super nice dude. One of the nicest guys that you'll meet who's on tour. Very nice human being. Love that dude. The little I've interacted with him, he was super, super kind, which was really cool. What's up, UA Cowboy? Aaron, I thought I was listening to Mondays, but don't know if I ever didn't connect. What did I miss Monday, and is there going to be anything different? Monday was a pretty normal Q&A. We did not get the PBA news until later on in the day, so we went live a second time on some platforms to explain that. But I know a lot of people missed it who are the regular tune-ins, so we can talk about the Elite Tour, what it looks like, what it kind of implies for the 2027 Tour, and that the 2027 Tour looks like it's going to be a closed tour, which is going to be kind of interesting. So, but let's keep on checking things out. Remember, these are full Q&A sessions, full Q&A sessions. No, that's funny. So if you guys have any questions about any bowling stuff, please let me know. It's a little bit of a slower news day, so we'll be able to hit a lot of questions. Remember, I have a lot of people in the stream, so if I don't get to your question immediately, it might be a little bit, but I will get to it eventually. So make sure to stay a little bit patient in that regard. Let's see, Michael, what do you think about the different Storm Concept batches? I haven't heard any differences or noticed any differences. I think the only thing I'm seeing is that the colorways are a little bit different. Like some of the newer, I know my concept is an original pour, so it's got like all light blue around it, versus some of them I notice have more white in their cover stocks. So it doesn't really change anything. It's just how the color ended up sitting in the ball. And I think they had a lot of them, a lot of orders quick, so they went a little bit faster for the next few batches. So that's why you notice those color splotches in it. But reaction wise, I've not heard a single thing. So no weird things there from what I've seen. And drink of the day is the remnant of my Ghost Crepe Crayon. I have about probably a fifth of a can left, so I'm going to finish that. And I just got some lame old water is going to be drink number 2. Mike doing this and my fantasy draft. Oh yeah, we're in fantasy football season, aren't we? That's kind of crazy. That is wild. Samuel, what is going on? Isaac, goated YouTuber. Thanks so much, Isaac. Michael, you're saying that the old ones with serial numbers A, B, or C hook more. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to buy a second one anytime soon. I haven't heard that from anybody. Maybe so. I know sometimes certain batches are going to hook a little bit more, a little bit less. But it's so, I mean, for those guys, they're drilling 10, 20 concepts. So they're going to notice that stuff a lot more than us. If you're just buying one, I don't think there's too big of a worry. You don't have to look for a certain batch. Usually the only thing for like bowling balls is like look for what year they were poured. Sometimes that has an effect in it, but otherwise I wouldn't try to hunt down ABC serial number concepts. You're just going to spend way too much money on maybe like half of a board of more hook or something. So I wouldn't worry too much. No more. I just used my Summer League winnings to pick up some gladiators. Hey, that is awesome. Love that for you. I actually, on Sunday, will have a video on KR's newest shoes, the Hype LT and the Maven. That's going to be coming soon. So that'll be it's a really fun video. I actually test a third secret pair of shoes in that video as well that you're going to want to watch. Let's see. RJ almost asked Phil today on their podcast if Ron is no longer on the send list. Oh, Brunswick would be so dumb to take him off the list. That would, if they did, I think that would actually, I mean, I would cause an uproar about that if somebody got removed from the list for a negative review, because that would kind of showcase how terrible the review space actually would be if you are then forced to make good reviews. Like, that's not a review at that point. It's hot garbage. I was told that a lot of reviewers now are actually mentioning that they're getting the ball for free or that they're employees of companies. So I'm glad that has caught on. That's been really cool to hear. So good that everybody is now starting to be a little bit more legal in the bowling review space. Mike, which ball is a stronger cover, Zero Mercy Solid or Conquest? Oh, Zero Mercy by a landslide. Yeah, Zero Mercy, I think that's the strongest cover stock just on the market outside of the concept, and then, of course, urethanes. James, Bionic is a good sharpness off my phase 2. I just need a step stronger, not a step weaker. If you want stronger than the phase 2, you can go with something like a Vengeance. If you want to stick in the Storm Camp, that's where like the Alpha Crux also fits, or even a Viking Conquest. If you want to go to a different realm, you could go, God, Brunswick has so little there. I miss the stealth mode. I miss the stealth mode so much. Otherwise, what else would fit there? What else would fit? I don't really know what else would fit there. Motive would be Jackal Ghost V2. Brunswick, yeah, that mild, strong, solid category is a little bit meh right now. Turtle Guy, I've recently lost over 20 pounds and it's messing with my timing and I don't know how to fix it. Is it worth finding a coach? I think so, yeah. And that's something a lot of people don't realize in bowling. Like, if you gain a lot of weight or lose a lot of weight, it's going to mess up your timing and your swing a bit. I know a handful of people who lost a bunch of weight and it actually kind of hurt their bowling game for like a year because they couldn't get their swing back in track. Now, bowling should not be the reason you decide to gain or lose weight, but that's all, of course, personal. But like, if you need to help fix it, coaching is going to be the quickest way to get you back on track to where you were. That's going to be by far and away the quickest way. Let's see. Joe just got the Jackal Ghost V2. Yeah, I think today is technically release day for the Jackal Ghost. That one is so hard because it's been like, I think 5 weeks since the Jackal Ghost got announced, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So it's been a bit. It has been a while since that ball was announced. So it's, yeah, good to see that it's actually officially live, and I'll be curious to see what everybody thinks of it in the next couple of weeks. Brian, we had an adult youth no-tap sweeper that we were told we already paid for, and they tried to charge us again. Oh, boy. Nobody ended up bowling it. Oh, Lord. Yeah, you got to watch out for some of those sketchy situations. That happens sometimes in the tournament game. You got guys who are trying to just make a quick buck and run away. So be careful. Make sure that the tournaments you're joining are actually decent. Don't make sure you're not joining any sketchy ones. Lawrence, love the elbow brace. When will it be available? It is already available. You can buy it either on turboproducts.com or you can go buy it at your local pro shop. Your pro shop can indeed order them. If they say that they cannot, they are lying. They can all order them because it's a turbo product that is purchasable from all distributors. That I had confirmed with me. If you want an easier way, let me see. It is Turbo Products, right? Is that their website name? No, turbogrips.com. Sorry, Turbo Grips, and it's called the Hyper RX. Yeah, if you just search up Hyper RX, either you Google it or you do that, you can purchase it. It is $70. Has 2 customer reviews right now, looks like. So you can purchase it. You're good to go. What's going on, Jaybird? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Samuel, I have a Vengeance and an Arctic Vibe. I bowl on heavy oil lanes on house. Want to know if I should get a stronger ball like a Dynasty or Zero Mercy or go with a spare ball. And if a spare ball, which one to get? I always recommend spare balls. I am on team spare ball. I know there's a couple of guys who are like anti-spare ball for some reason. It's usually like it's kind of ironic. It's usually like 190 league guys are like very against spare balls. And I don't know why it's like a certain realm of people are so anti spare ball. I am very pro spare ball because you don't have to manipulate your release. You don't have to change anything. You just have to change where you're looking and you're good to go. So I think that's a good idea. If you think you need a ball stronger than your Vengeance, I think two things could be on the table. One, resurface your Vengeance, bring it to like 1,000 grit or 1,500 grit. That should be able to help out. Otherwise, yeah, Zero Mercy could fit there very well as well. Jeff Dunn joining your first league this year. Hey, first of all, congratulations on joining your first league. Evan, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate it. And then secondly, big thing, league isn't that serious is the best way to look at it. You go in and you think it's going to be pretty serious, like wins matter every week. A lot of people do not care that much. It's very casual, very laid back. So don't don't be too upset if you do poorly. Don't be too angry if you're missing stuff. Like go in, learn a lot, have some fun, relax, get some actual games in and work on how you deal with transition, how you deal with burn, and try to use it as learning is the best way to treat League. Use it as a good learning opportunity where you can see like how a lane breaks down and what you should use when they break down and how you should move and all of that. So make sure to check that out. Let's see. Samuel looking for a 3-ball. Oh, yeah, we hit you already. Alan shot my second sanction 700 with your Fallout. Hey, congratulations. That is awesome. Huge congrats to you, Alan. Second 700 is a great feat to have. That's sweet. Tattooed French Fry has a question on the Intel Tour. What are my thoughts on it? I like how it looks right now. I think it's looking really good. It seems like it's going to kill. It already has killed the Turbo XNU. I don't know why you would get a Turbo XNU and not an Intel Tour. That one's odd to me, why they would have both balls out so close together. I know Radical kind of does their own thing in the Brunswick realm, and they have their own process, and they release whatever they want and all that. It's a little bit odd. I don't know. I don't know why they released it then. I think the Intel Tour is the better ball. That one's looking really good. It's strong. It's continuous. It's super slow down lane, which is okay. But it seems like it's that better tournament ball. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the best for house shots. I think the guys who like house shot, like concepts on house shots or NUs on house shots are going to really like the Intel Tour on house, but I don't think a whole ton of people are going to want it. So I think it's a really cool ball. I think it's going to be in a really unique spot. It's a lot cheaper than a concept, so I think they're going to snag some sales from the concept solely because of that price. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool. Let's see. Joe, yep, you got that. NPS comparison of the level up and the concept. The level up. Is that the overseas one? I think that's the overseas one. I have no idea what that thing is, man. Looks like it came out in May. It is RPM XT. No idea what that is. It's no matter what, it's generally going to be a lot weaker and a lot quicker than the original concept, if it's anything like the original level. Colonel Dave Dixon, down 100 pounds, still trying to relearn everything. Yeah, that gets to be one of the toughest things, but if you can, yeah, the relearning is tough, but it's worth it when you do. And Emily got a Phase 2 Pearl and a Fury last week. Hey, congrats, Emily. That is awesome. Love that. Gregory, what's up? How it's going? It's going well. It's going well, man. And Tippett, Mr. Tippett got the Hyper RX. Nice. Yeah, let me know what you think of it. I've loved mine so far. I've been a huge fan of the Hyper RX. It's been really fun to use. It's been cool to see my progress in my game in a short amount of time. And make sure to treat it like a training tool as well. I think that's the best way to look at that device. Mike just threw the Ghost V2 Saturday at a test drive. Not as strong as I expected. Still good, just weaker than I thought. However, loving the Sigma Tour Pearl. Yeah, I think the Sigma Tour Pearl is the #1 rev dominant ball from Motive. I wish that's something they would have pushed a little bit harder. Every kid that I saw throw it at Junior Gold that was a little more on the rev dominant side, a lot of the two-handers and just rev dominant kids really loved the Sigma Tour because it's so slow down lane, but it still like pushes down lane. So I think it's been really good for that regard. If you're more speed dominant, you could probably go with like a Nebula or Venom Hysteria instead. And Brian's getting his Beef and Barnsey shirt before Saturday's clinic with Carolyn and Stu. Nice. That's awesome. Make sure to wear it for Stu. He'll love that. Make sure to have him sign it in a weird spot, too. Evan, I've seen conflicting things regarding the PBA Elite thing. Curious on your thoughts. Yeah, so when the Elite Tour news dropped, I tried going as hard as I could. I tried getting as much information as quick as possible and getting it out there so we could kill off the rumors and the dumb ideas that were coming out of the world. I mean, we heard rumors that Bowl TV was disappearing. We heard rumors the PBA 50 Tour was disappearing. We heard rumors that all regionals were disappearing. What else did we hear? I heard a rumor that only 16 guys would be on the PBA Tour next year. Shockingly, they're all false. Who would have guessed? Now, some of the rumors were true from the very reputable sources, but some of the other sketchy ones were completely false, and there was a lot of rage baiting and fear mongering that was going on as per normal in social media. So yes, I do have pretty much like the hardened 100% thoughts and 100% truth on what the rest of the year looks like on the regional tour. So I have a little document up right now that explains it. I got to get this into a place. I have it on my Facebook right now, and I think my Instagram as well. I believe I posted it there, but I got to find a better way to actually get it out there. I might have it out on like my website or something after this. I might try popping it out there. But the big thing is there are 3 events per region for September, October, November. So that means 21 total events. In those events, they're open to everybody, PBA players who are national, PBA regional guys. You just have to make sure you have your membership card, or you have to make sure you're a college player. For some reason, people were ignoring that point and getting angry about it. College bowlers are allowed to bowl these events. Now, the main reason that Elite Tour events are happening is to be a way to make it into the RPI, the Regional Players Invitational. This is a tournament that is going to be your way into the PBA. Brandon tipped in, PBA is going downhill it is not. It's actually going way uphill. It is, yeah, there's really trying to make it to that RPI is your goal, because in that RPI event, it's an amateur-only event. There's no PBA national guys allowed in it. The top 3 bowlers in that event are getting their PBA National Tour certification or status. They call it the PBA priority status is what they're really calling like that national tour level of guys. So that would be, let me find the number quick. If you are top 75 in PBA points in 2026, you won a title between 2017 and 2026, you are a PBA Hall of Fame member in the performance category. So not like the tournament director or not like any of those categories. Top 3 collegiate bowler. So we do have the names of those bowlers. We have Brandon Bone, Bryce Oliver, and Carter Street. They are already going to be on PBA Tour for 2027. Those are our top 3 rookies of the year candidates right now. If you had a medical exemption, which is Matt Taylor, and then those are all the guys who are going to be on that priority status. So those bowlers are already on the PBA Tour for 2027. Now, those guys can bowl these elite events, but they cannot qualify for the RPI, and they have a limit of how many events they can bowl. It's 2 events in your home region and 1 event outside of your region, and that's it. The reason they'd want to bowl it is there's 10 grand on top for 21 events. This is the most money we've ever had put into the regional tour. So that's a net positive in a lot of ways. There's also a senior side of everything going on. That one is getting a lot less love and there's a lot more questions about it, but there is a standard division in these elite events and a senior division. So the senior division has a little bit less money, but a lot less people as well. Otherwise, those are like the main things of the Elite Tour. So let me know if you have questions on any of that stuff. But we're going to keep kind of ping-ponging back and forth between Q&As and any questions about the Elite stuff that you guys have. Gone 111. Can the Intel Tour be compared to the IQ Tour? No, IQ Tour is going to be way weaker, way weaker, and way sharper down lane. Alex Muncie has the Monsoon, Bionic, and Ion Max Pearl, a good combo. I actually really like that group. Tibbet, Bowler's Mart site did show the Turbo Elbow out of stock, but will email when available, which is odd. They are available everywhere. Bowler's Mart is a distributor, so they have to get them from Turbo, and I'm guessing they just have never grabbed them because they didn't see much interest. The reason is Turbo didn't really promote this device or market this device until just a couple of weeks ago when I joined in their marketing efforts and when I started using it. So they really didn't have any marketing about it. No one really knew the device existed. And now that it's getting some love, I feel like Bowler Smart will grab a couple and try to get them out there. Gregory, how do you feel about the new regional schedule? I like how it is through the end of 2026. I think having these major events is really cool because, let's be honest, how many of us can name a lot of PBA regional winners of the last couple of months? Like, I'm as deep into the bowling space as anybody. I didn't know anybody who won regional events at all. Like, there was just no marketing. There was no promotion. There was very little about these regional events. They were basically glorified amateur events in a lot of ways where you won a PBA regional title, which is really cool, but they weren't getting that much love. So it sounds like these elite events, we're going to know who wins. We're going to see a lot about these events. We're going to have live streams for these events on Bowl TV and potentially YouTube as well. So I think it's going to be really cool that we actually get to see what goes on in that regional side. I'll be curious to see what happens in 2027 for the regional schedule too. Tom Pardosh, sorry, I probably butchered your name. Which insole did you recommend before and why? So I have Blue Maca insoles. I got to find my code quick. I think I have it actually. Do I? Mike, okay, Mr. Mike Flanagan is trying to call me. Give me a minute. Everybody go yell at Mike Flanagan on Facebook. So could I call you back in, we'll say 2 hours. That should be plenty. I hope Mike sits at his phone and waits and just kind of like taps his feet and just waits for that 2 hour time frame for me to call him. But I have Blue Maca insoles, and I actually have a coupon code, which is really cool. I believe it's ZVL Bowling for 10% off. And they're super nice. They are no slide. They're very sticky. They're very comfy. I've worn them in everything so far, so they've been great so far. Burying the lead there. Yeah, he heard something I said about the Elite Tour, and he's going to yell at me. No, I'll be curious. Yeah, he doesn't usually cold call very often. So we'll see. Bill Benson, I love my Mesmerize. Should I get another one while I can, or would you recommend a different ball? Oh, that's such a good question. The Mesmerize, yeah, I'm surprised there's some available yet. The closest thing to a Mesmerize right now is probably the new Combat Solid. I think they're going to be they look very similar. The Combat Solid might be a little quicker down lane, but otherwise they're going to be very close together. So I think it's up to you. Do you feel it's worth it getting another Mes, or do you want to go with a new option in that Combat? And I would recommend checking the price too. The Combat's going to be $195 for quite a while. I am not sure what the Mes is at right now. Larry Tripp, my fall league starts tonight. We have a new person joining. Nice. Have fun. Tell that person to have fun and tell them good luck. That's awesome that they're joining. That'll be really cool. Chloe, demoing new balls. Your current benchmark is the Bionic. Should I look at the Crux, Wicked, Gremlin, Conquest? Throw them all. 100% throw all three. See what you like better. I would assume like the Crux and Conquest are kind of going to be that step above something like a Wicked Gremlin, but I recommend trying all of them. If you can bring your own ball to a demo as well and test that against it to see what happens. James, you just gave me a good idea. I'm going to gain 30 pounds just for league. Hey, you do you. You do you. Jeremy Hatcher, are platinum mixes on back order? Yeah, they're on back order everywhere. There's one guy you can blame for this, actually. His name is Jesper Svensson. He is about my height, much more blonde than me, throws it with two hands and on the wrong side of the lane. So because he made that TV show with a mix, they've been sold out ever since. They have not been able to keep up. And they also look really, really cool. They are probably the best mix colorway I've seen since their all white one, which was like probably 7 years ago, maybe something like that. Isaac Norris, can you give me more ball good for rev dominant bowlers? Oh, what ball would be good? Would Sigma 2 or Pearl overlap with the Zen? No, Sigma 2 or Pearl is going to be weaker. Definitely going to be weaker. Yan hugs Jesper. Yeah, you can go yell at him if you want. I don't have his social media handle. If I had that or his phone number, I would let you guys know so you can go yell at him. But I have neither of those things. So if you have a way to get to Jesper, go yell at him for that. Let's see. Gregory's a regional bowler. Alchemy, I might be late, but the good news is I made it. Hey, that's what matters. Chris, I have a secondhand ball that lane shines quickly and doesn't work the best when when it lane shines. So I have to add more surface. Thought about re-drilling it to where it worked with lane shine. Any opinion? I personally do not think that re-drilling it, if it lane shines quickly, is going to do a whole lot. It's still going to act very similar. Remember, layouts are really just fine tuning. They aren't really to really make the ball dramatically different. So I don't think a change of that would matter. Unfortunately, some balls just lane shine very quickly. Effect Tour, Alert, some of those balls really lane shine fast. Even the Bionic lane shines fairly quickly, so you just have to keep up the surface a lot more often. So you might just have to buy some sanding pads and just hand sand it a couple of times, or a time every time you bowl, after every time you bowl, just to kind of keep it going properly. Evan, unrelated to bowling, favorite Pokemon, favorite evolution. Oh, yeah, for sure. Grovyle, favorite Pokemon, favorite evolution. Glaceon, with Jolteon being number 2. J Bowles, I know the Transform Pearl and the Viking are both in the Strong Sharp, but would the Transform Pearl dig in more? Yes. Yeah, the Transform Pearl is going to be a step above the Viking. Even though they're in the same category, there are differences between the two, and that's with all the categories in the 6-ball scale. So, yes, the Transform is going to be a little bit earlier and a little bit smoother than how that OG Viking is. I actually threw my OG Viking quite a bit last night. It was great. And Steve with the $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much. You have a military tournament coming up, 12.5 to 1 ratio. So you're bowling on a house shot, which is good. Your 5 balls you're thinking are an RST, a Summit, a Phase 2, a Lightning Blackout. Oh, you have a lot of balls. Oh, you have a lot of balls. You're looking for 5-ball options. No to the Twist. I would say, oh boy, that's a lot. Either the RST or the Summit, or the Phase 2, one of those. I would say, well, no, I would go RST for sure, RST or Summit, then Phase 2 or IQ Tour, or Phase 2 or Effect Tour. Yeah, you have a lot of weak balls. Honestly, bring your favorite weak bowling balls after that. You have a lot of weak balls. Everything from Ascend, Top Thrill, Supra, Vibe, Typhoon, Monsoon, Burner, Surge, and Twist. They're all insanely weak and do very similar things. So I would pick your favorites out of the bunch, but I would for sure make sure the RST is in the bag, or the Summit, and then make sure the Phase 2 or Effect Tour is in the bag. J Bowles just picked up those insoles based on your rec, threw them in my Dexters, only worn them around the house, but they feel great. Yeah, I am probably gonna try to wear them more with my regular shoes as well. They're great. I'm not on my feet much anymore, so luckily, I don't need them a whole lot, but if I did, I'd be wearing them a lot. I'd be wearing them in everything. If I was still in corporate and I'd have to wear those stupid business casual dress shoes, I would have those in there, 100%. I hate dress shoes, by the way. They're so stupid. Why are they so uncomfy all the time? It's insane. All right. Dave Dixon, pin up or pin down for a no thumb bowler? Never go pin down. Never go pin down if you do not have a thumb in the ball. That is not a way to lay out a bowling ball anymore. If you have no thumb drilled in your ball, the pin should never be below your fingers, almost ever. That is just set fact. That's not how layouts operate. That's going to make the ball all types of funky. MN Flyer, IQ AI versus Ion Max Pearl. Ion Max Pearl is going to hook way sooner, and be a lot smoother than the IQ AI. What's a good 3-ball arsenal with a Phase 2 and the number 2 ball? What's the number 2 ball? Marty, thanks for the share. Appreciate it. I mean, you could go like Phase 2 Pearl, and a Monsoon. If you want something a little weaker, you could go Phase 2 Viking Typhoon. If you want a little bit of a bigger mixture, kind of depends what you're aiming for. Ma, I just got the Eternity. Is it good for fresh? It can be. It's a little bit weak for fresh, but it could be all right. Ron, thoughts on the Intense Collision? Low-key, your guess is as good as mine. We have 3 reviews of the ball so far, I think, and I actually kind of roast it a little bit in my mini review of the Intense Collision that I think just went live. I am seeing 3 reviews total. Oh, there's one. 4. Oh, Laneside has their AI thumbnail. 5. There are 5 current reviews of the Intense Collision, and in one of them they do comparisons. So It looks like it's very similar to a severe collision. If you like the severe collision, you want to replace it, Intense is going to be your best play unless you want to just go buy a severe collision for $80 less. But otherwise, the Intense is very blendy, not as quick as you expected. It looks good. A lot of Deviate stuff has been very good. It just gets ignored completely. Okay, we talked about that one. Let's see. How does new Radical Intel Tour compare to the concept? So I've seen reports that it's stronger. I've seen weaker. Overall, the cover is weaker and the core is stronger. So it's going to flare a lot more. It seems like it's going to hook a little bit later, but also be a little bit quicker is what I've seen compared to the concept, especially if you're a medium rev rate. If you're a high rev rate, that's where the concept is going to be a bit quicker. So it really depends on your rev rate. If you're super high rev rate, you're going to see the concept as a fairly quick ball that you got to play left with. Intel's going to be a little bit earlier. It's going to grab in a little bit sooner and be smoother. Does Street Rally compare to anything currently? Honestly, Intense Collision. I think Intense Collision and Street Rally are going to be very close together. Otherwise, I'd say Spartan Pearl is around that as well. Because they put C squared on the Spartan Pearl too. So I think all of those are fairly close. Brio, the new Danger Zone feels super angular off the spot, but also kind of continuous. An absolute monster on the burn. Yeah, I've seen that ball is a little bit quicker than what a lot of people thought. It really still fits in the smooth category though, because that thing just likes to read the friction pretty hard. But it isn't really as sharp as a lot of other sharp bowling balls. Hey, Bilo. Grovile's a good shot. I love Sceptile. Yeah, I've got a Grovile and a Sceptile plush behind me somewhere. Best surface for medium house shot, 2,000 to 4,000, really. PD, I have an Eternity and an Eternity Pi, but I haven't bowled in 3 years in league or tournaments because of work. I'm coming back this season. Should I return to the factory finish? Yes. Yeah, when in doubt, just get it to factory finish. That's a good play. Daniel, why are the companies putting out more hybrid balls this year? I don't think there's a reason for it. I know Brunswick has been putting out some stronger hybrids because it seems, I'm guessing this is all a guess. I'm guessing what they're seeing is that if it's an all solid cover stock, it grabs too early and kind of pukes out for a lot of their stuff. So they're putting a lot more hybrid, just a little bit of pearl in that cover stock. I mean, really, hybrids are going to fit in one of two camps, either the dull camp or the shiny camp. There really are very few middle of the road hybrid bowling balls. Most of them fit on one side of the equation or the other. Like, for example, the No Doubt hybrid acts like a solid ball. The Viking acts like a pearl ball, things like that. Glaceon was what I was anticipating. Well, I've been all over the place for evolutions. It kind of depends on the week. What's my discount code for Lane Tracks? ZVL. If you use code ZVL, you will get a decent chunk off at Lane Tracks. Highly recommend it. I'm actually just buying a tablet to get more Lane Tracks in a lot of my on-lane videos. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Really, really excited for that. I had a really good call with the main owner and developer, Graham, last week. So I've got a couple of things coming down the pipeline. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Operative Ghost. In my arsenal, I have a Venom Shock, Lethal Venom, Coral Venom, and a Jackal Ghost. What ball should I get rid of and what should I add? I don't think you need both the Lethal Venom and, well, those do fit. I don't think you need to get rid of anything. Honestly, if you want to get rid of anything, you can. I don't recommend it though, unless you really, really need to. I think a pearl ball would be really good in that. You'd have no shinier balls minus the blue coral, which is it usually is like a little more dull. Andrew Burns, I've never done brackets in a tournament. Are they worth doing? So brackets in a tournament are generally the best way to make money on the side. What a bracket is when you join a tournament means you say it's a $5 bracket. There's usually an entry fee of some kind. So you pay in $5. What'll happen is you're going to get paired with 7 other bowlers in an actual head-to-head bracket. So game 1, you're going to go against one bowler. Whoever has the higher score between you two moves on to the semifinals. Then you're going to go against the winner of the other side, and whoever wins there makes it to the finals. That's your game 2 score that incorporates for that. Then finally, in the final round of the bracket, you are head-to-head against one other person in your game 3 score. Whoever wins takes first place in the bracket. Usually the top 2 people in the bracket end up getting paid. Usually it's $25 for first, $10 for second, and then $5 goes back to the tournament director is how it works. So it is, if you are a consistent bowler, brackets are going to overall be really, really good for you. If you are inconsistent, where you'll shoot 150 into 250, you're going to like high game pots a little bit better. Lawrence, can you give me any advice on a ball arsenal? High-speed bowler. I do have I mean, you're probably more speed dominant than. I don't want to really go through like a 6-ball arsenal because that's going to take 20 minutes. But I do have a video for speed dominant arsenal, so I'd recommend checking that out, Lawrence. Let's see. Demo driver. Is it worth getting finger grips for my Columbia 300 white dot? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Your spare ball should match your strike ball, like in terms of fit. They should be identical because otherwise your spares are going to be inconsistent. What is that name? Narfle? Narfle. What would pair well with a fallout on a house shot? Something shiny, I think pairs well. Hammerhead Pearl, Black Widow Mania, Spartan Pearl, Viking, Transform Pearl, Phase 2 Pearl. Yeah, something shinier will be good. Let's see. RJ, finalized my 3 balls for house. You have Severe Collision, Intel Tour, and Fury Pearl. Okay. Not sure if I get the intents for Severe Collision. Brio, we hit. Alchemy, have gotten to throw the Fallout and the Deep Ocean the last 2 weeks of Summer League. Fallout hooked a bunch, and the vibe was a great play after. Perfect, good. Yeah, that seems like it's a very good 1-2 combo between the Fallout and the Deep Ocean. Deep Ocean is going to be one that a lot of people ignore, unfortunately, because the bubblegum looks way cooler. The Deep Ocean doesn't really look good, and that's one thing on entry-level balls that really matters is the coloring of the ball. If the ball has a bad color, nobody buys it if it's a lower-end piece. The higher end pieces, people will still buy if it's ugly, just not as often. That's my one worry with the Wicked Gremlin, is it is a little bit ugly. It's got that brown in it, and people don't like the bleh colors, like a brown or a dark green or like a middle, like a darker gray. Like people don't like those colors, so they don't buy them that often. So that usually hurts a ball sales. But for the weaker stuff, it really matters a lot. That's why you see the bubblegum be so bright, the Arctic be so bright. You see the Hustles generally with really bright colorways. Shout out to the Hustle VP. The Max Thrills all have really bright colorways. That's really just to garner sales with kind of the newer crowd, because everybody wants a ball that looks good, and especially the newer crowd really wants a ball that looks good. They don't care about performance as much, more about how it looks in their hand and going down the lane. So that's something to be, aware of, and something to keep track of with the weaker balls is their colors are always kind of interesting. You'll notice a lot different colors out of them. Brandon, caught a cold? I'm sorry, man. That's unfortunate. And C, do you think I need a hybrid ball? No. No one technically needs a hybrid ball, and nobody should ever hunt out a hybrid ball. It's not worth it. Just look for a ball that's going to fit that category. So you have a DNA, a High Road 40, a Zero Mercy Solid, and Ice. Yeah, you have a massive gap in your arsenal from your really strong stuff to your really weak stuff. So you need medium bowling balls. You could use a Bionic, ironically a hybrid. You could use something like a Brunswick Alert. You could use a Phase 2 Pearl. You could use an Ion Pro Solid. Things in that realm, Nebula, Venom Shock, things like that are going to be really good. But it doesn't have to be a hybrid ball. Don't worry about that. That's the one thing after my videos I hope I can get across, is that hybrid bowling balls are stupid, and you shouldn't look for just a hybrid bowling ball. They all fit into one of two camps. Either they're dull or they're shiny, and that's what they're supposed to be like. They're going to be either smooth or sharp. Joe Weiss, I bought the Venom Hysteria. The ball doesn't hook much. No, not really. It's a weaker pearl ball. Yeah, it's not going to be a crazy, super early and strong bowling ball. Samuel, what do you recommend for a first buyer deep cleaning your bowling balls for a first time? Oh, first timer. What do you mean by deep? Like using if you're using a spray, I recommend Tack Up. That's one of my favorites. Otherwise, CTD has some really good sprays. If you're trying to bake it or anything like that, don't do that unless you notice like bad things with your bowling ball. Because once you bake it for the first time, or once you waterlog the ball for the first time, you get to notice other issues will arise. That should be a last ditch effort. That shouldn't be something you do just because. UA Cowboys, everybody, any word on lane tracks for Android? Working on it. I know it's a work in progress. So the one thing I learned from Graham about the app making process is that when you make an app, say for iPhone, you have to basically build it from the ground up for Android. Like there is no good compatibility tool. Something that's really nice for like, so I started a podcast, if you guys weren't aware, the Bowling Breakdown, that is on Spotify and Apple Music and a couple other places. The compatibility between those platforms is incredible. They play really well together. Unfortunately, Apple and Android do not play well together at all. They kind of hate each other. So their app stores don't like playing well together. And that's why people have to now remake their apps completely, basically. It's very, very unfortunate. All right, let's see. Devil Kid, you have a 330 to 350 rev rate. Your speed is 12 to 14. I'm lost on how to build an arsenal. So you're rev dominant, Devil Kid. So you're gonna like the guides that I have for how to build an arsenal for a rev dominant bowler. You're gonna like the weaker stuff best. E, is speed really that important? Or what if you're a rev dominant thrower? Yeah, no, speed is very important. More people nowadays are very rev dominant, and that gets to be a problem because you need to have your speed higher if you have a high rev rate to actually keep your ball on the lane. A lot of people have the problem where they just can't keep a ball on the right side of the head pin if you're a righty, or left side of the head pin for a lefty. So you need that speed. I am a firm believer that more people need to increase their ball speed out there. And that would be very beneficial for a lot of people out there. So if you have that problem where you have to stand super deep on the lane and your ball is still overhooking most of the time, or you feel like in a lot of situations you just can't keep a ball on the right side of the head pin, that's a problem. And you should try to boost your ball speed. That's going to be really beneficial. Jess loves their Venom Shock but wants another ball. Venom Hysteria is a good option. Venom Hysteria is a good 1-2 combo. Same core, just a shiny cover stock. Let's see. Do I have any thoughts on the company Custom Grips? Is that what I was given at? It was. Okay, I was able to talk to them at Bowl Expo. They have cool grips. They're basically vacuum grips that you only need to drill one hole into. They're cool. Not many people have them. So if you want to try them, you can, but you're going to have to get them special ordered, unfortunately. Brian Sweet, I've never used insoles before, but actually had my shoe fly off one league. Do you take out the old? Yes, make sure to take out the old insoles. I don't know how your shoe fell off. That's unique. That is very, very unique. Remember, we are doing a full, for anyone new joining us, we are doing a full Q&A session today. We are going around talking about everything and anything bowling. We talked a little bit about the PBA new Elite Tour that's coming, the Elite Regional Tour, and we went through the basics of it. If you have questions on it, please let me know. It's a very interesting topic right now in the bowling world. It doesn't affect most people. Most people watching this, probably almost all of us watching this, don't bowl regionals. But if you do, this can be a very important step, especially if you have aspirations to make the PBA Tour one day. This gives you that actual definite guide on how to make the tour. Otherwise, it's a full Q&A on anything and everything bowling. Make sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't. It's the best way to help support the channel. Otherwise, we have a lot of cool sponsors popping up here with cool things that you can grab. Otherwise, we do have ZVL chamois if you need a bowling chamois for the upcoming league season. Unfortunately, we're out of black and golds. Those sold out very quickly. So we will have those back in stock probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks is the way it sounds. Hopefully. That's kind of the goal right now. All right, let me catch back up. It's a little bit slower today. I'm a little bit surprised. We're a little bit slower on the questions, which is okay. It's kind of that quiet portion of the year. We're kind of just waiting for the league season to really pop up and all the news and the fun stuff going on. We're right in between bowling ball releases. So yeah, it's understandable. Let's see. We talked about the speed question. Best benchmark for a two-hander, 17 miles an hour, 400 rep. There really is no best benchmark for anybody. There's about 40 to 50 bowling balls in the categories that could be deemed as benchmark, but there is no benchmark bowling ball until you have a couple of bowling balls in your bag. That's why generally the phase 2 is seen as a benchmark, because it is in that medium category and it fits in between a lot of balls. Your benchmark is basically just that square middle of the bag. So it depends what you have, honestly. It all depends on what other bowling balls you have. Like, if I would recommend a phase 2 there and you own a bunch of weak stuff, well, the phase 2 isn't your benchmark then. Then your phase 2 is your strong ball. Let's see. MN Osley, is Concept best for 39 feet oil? Yeah, it can be great for 39 feet. Make sure to have some surface on it. Make sure it's not too shiny. I have a Spartan and a Game Breaker. Any suggestions for a third ball? Oh, definitely something shinier. Maybe Strong and Shiny since you're a little more on the speed dominant side. So like Black Widow Mania, Spartan Pearl, Zero Mercy Pearl, Transform Pearl, Evoke Hysteria, balls like that. We hit that one. We hit that one. We hit C. Brandon, think about getting an Ion Max Pearl with the same layout as my Ion Max. If you like your Ion Max, I think that's a great option. If you don't like your Ion Max, you could try a Transform Pearl like you mentioned. Am I still using vacuum grips and have you liked it? No, I actually only put vacuum grips into one ball. I am still not a fan. I like my regular grips way better. I just do. It's just a feel thing. It's a personal thing. But I would recommend trying vacuum grips if you're really feeling like you want to test it, because almost half of the PBA pros use vacuum grips. So it can be something good you try. It just doesn't fit with me. I don't like it. I'm also kind of lazy. I have the Stu Williams approach where like when I'm drilling a ball for me, I don't want to spend the extra 5 minutes putting that extra hole in it and dealing with replacing my grips a lot. I'm bad with replacing my grips. I don't do it nearly quickly enough. So I'm not a big fan of vacuums, just personally. I think they're really good for a lot of people, just not me. Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. Make sure we're not missing anything. Between oval and fingertip grips with the lifts, how much will it change ball motion? The finger, the lifts generally aren't good anymore, especially for anyone newer to the game. Lifts basically just lower your pitch a little bit. So that should be something that your pro shop actually drills for you. It causes your fingers to try to stay in the ball a little bit longer, but it sometimes makes them get behind the ball. I don't know. It doesn't really change your ball motion a whole lot. I would test them both to see which feels better. It's not really about the ball roll with your lifts versus no lifts. Brio, I currently have a 10-pound spare ball compared to my 14-pound for strikes. Yes, please get a different one. Do not get a spare ball that's too light or too heavy for your game and different than your other stuff. What different weights in bowling balls do is it changes your timing. Your swing, like your actual bowling swing, is way quicker with a light ball because the ball is lighter. So you can throw it a lot faster and it's going to move a lot more. So I recommend having them to be very similar. Do you have a video on spare balls? I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. No, I don't think I've ever. I've made them on short form, like on TikTok, on Instagram, and Facebook. I have. I don't think I've posted one actually on YouTube. Now that I think about it, I might have to do that someday. Cash, what are your thoughts on one-handed no-thumb bowling? I'm a lefty currently doing that style. I think more people will like two-handed bowling. So one hand, no thumb, you have to be very strong to do it. That's the first thing. You cannot be consistent if you are not a super strong person doing one hand, no thumb. It's just very hard to do. Because generating ball speed is tough. And then trying to keep that ball balanced and being able to hold the weight of 15 pounds in one hand is not an easy task to do. So I usually recommend people go more closer towards two-hand no thumb instead of one-hand no thumb, but it is a lot of personal preference. A lot of it, like if that feels way better to you, you can keep doing it, but there's a few different hurdles you'll have to jump compared to two-handed bowling. Jeff Dunn, Ingersoll is your benchmark. Would ever be worth moving to an alert? No, they're way too close together, honestly. I would say if your Ingersoll dies out on you, you could try it. But I wouldn't get both right now. You're going to not throw one of the two, unfortunately. And Chris, our pro shop just ordered them. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, there's something cool to try. It's basically just vacuum without having drill an extra hole is what it is. How will the new elite stuff affect the international players? So that's the big question right now that I believe will get answered in the next couple of days is international players weren't really mentioned in the articles at all and what region they're going to get put into because they're going to have to qualify in the same way as U.S. players, where they're going to have to do really well in an elite tournament, make it to the RPI, and then be good to go. So it hasn't really been picked of like what region they fit in best. But international guys might also just get priority into the elite tournaments to be able to try to compete for the RPI. They haven't really talked about that a whole lot yet. Ball Rex for no thumb with a low ball speed. That means you're probably very rev dominant. You're gonna like the weak stuff, the surges of the world and the furies and balls like that. What is my rec for spare balls? I always recommend plastic is my personal favorite. I think ices, T-zones, and aspires are going to be the best ones. Otherwise, I know KR Strike Force has some spare balls. I know Elite has some spare balls. I believe that's their technical name. Swag has some spare balls. So buy whatever. I don't like the clear spare balls. I don't like the Storm Clear spare ball or that Swag stained glass one. I don't like those because they're so expensive. I prefer the $50 to $60 T-zones and ices. I think they're a little bit better just because of that price. Now, if you are worried about the ball chipping, because plastic can chip a little bit more, I would recommend something like a mix or an X. All right, I got a cough. Give me just a second. I've had a tickle in my throat the last couple of days. It's been very unfortunate. I've just had to drink a lot of water, especially when your job is so much talking. Makes it a little bit tough. There we go. All right. Where was I? Oh, Jay. There we go. What's up, Jay? We just got the Sapphire for our arsenal. I highly recommend this ball in transition. Perfect. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, I'm planning on getting one very, very soon. Is my hope. And what is my rec for spare? Yeah, so hopefully that helped out. Like the mix or the axe is a good one. That's how I started to get sick, Brandon. Oh boy. Yeah, I felt a little bit weird earlier this week and late in the weekend. So hopefully that's not the play. Hopefully that's not what's happening. How do you increase your ball speed? Yes. 3 main ways to increase your ball speed. I'm going to have a video on this coming very soon, by the way. Number 1, this one's very hard to change, is the length of your arms and legs. Your limb length is how you increase your speed. That's one way. So taller people are going to be able to throw it faster. Shorter people are not going to be able to throw it as fast because our arms, like for me, I'm tall, our arms and legs are longer. So you get more ball speed. The other ways that you can actually manipulate, faster footwork. The faster you get up to the line, the faster your bowling ball is going to roll. That's why you see a lot of two-handers with that really fast ball footwork. So look at Bug Kroll. He basically sprints to the line. EJ Tackett basically sprints to the line. The reason is those guys are short. So to generate that ball speed, they don't have the arm or leg length. So then they need to kind of go a lot faster to get to the line. Number 3 is going to be the height of your backswing. Very hard to change as a two-hander, but you can raise it a little bit. But otherwise, as a one-hander, the higher your backswing, generally the faster your ball speed is going to be. So those are the 3 main ways on how you can increase your speed. Brian, you had super slick socks on and your foot came right out of the shoe. We got to get you some tighter shoes, man. Even with super slick socks, that should be fine. Jonathan, would you go full effect or theorem delta? Oh, theorem delta. I actually personally do not like my full effect anymore. It died in 20 games. It's so pukey down lane. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's that HK22C squared cover stock or what, but I'm going to try to dull it and see if that makes it a little bit better. But right now it looks kind of doo-doo, in all honesty. I don't know. I'm probably going to bring it this weekend. I'm going to need something big and strong because I'm bowling on 40 mils and like 45 feet. So I think I'm going to bring that and bring it down to like 2,000 grit to see how that does. But I've had to dull it more and more and more lately because it gets smoother and smoother. And well, it just seems like it keeps getting smoother down lane. So then I'll try to make it hook a little earlier. And it's like it's weirdly way smoother than I expected. So I don't know. It's a little odd. I'm guessing that HK22C squared just absorbs oil way quicker. Brandon just got off work and I'm going to take some NyQuil. Good call, Brandon. Good call. And Noah, should tour pros be allowed to bowl new super regionals if they determine tour status? If yes, why? Yeah, so the rules say that the current PBA pros are allowed to bowl in the elite tournaments, in the elite regionals, but they cannot qualify for the RPI. So they can still bowl, they can still win. And that's honestly, it's the same as it was for regular regional events. Every single regional event, unless it was called even a non-member event, like now every PBA regional, the tour guys could go to them. It just was not worth it some of the time. I mean, Darren Tang was a weekend warrior on PBA regionals. He still goes to a billion of them. So it isn't really any change in that regard. They are limited now. So you're going to have less touring pros at those events than you would previously if you just made a regional with $10,000. So I think it's okay. And especially the main goal of the elite regionals is to qualify for the RPI, to qualify for the PBA. I think that's going to be a big mindset shift that a lot of bowlers are going to have to go through at that level, because there's a lot of guys who they work 9 to 5s and they bowl the regionals just for that high level competition, but they actually don't want to go on tour. Those guys are going to get left in the dust right now, because the goal now, it sounds like, of the elite and of the RPI is to make it to tour. That is your minor league. So those guys, like, I don't know if they make it, they're just going to say, nah, I'm good, I don't want to be on tour, or what the case is going to be. So we'll see. CJ shot 279 with the Hysteria. Nice. That's awesome. And Digby, are you still meh on swag? I am. Yeah, I am meh on swag. I'm curious if it's good on shore. Yeah, they're super smooth. It is both the weakest bowling ball company and the smoothest bowling ball company. So if you have a lot of axis rotation and are more rev dominant, they're going to be a good play. If you look at a lot of the swag guys, the staffers, even the guys in more management roles at swag, they're all rev dominant. They're all very rev dominant. They all need to get their ball down lane further, and that's what their brand does. This is just how it is. Now, I was told good things about the Black Dragon Hybrid. I haven't thrown it. I don't know. There's only been 2 reviews of every single swag ball, so it's honestly, there's a reason I haven't talked about it much, because we don't know that much. Like, Luke and Charles are the only 2 that I've seen actually throw the new stuff, minus like a TikTok clip of either a swag staffer or a swag wannabe staffer being like, this is the best ball ever, buy 2 of them today. Like, brother, stop. You don't need to do that. And I know that's going to get clipped and sent to a couple of them. I'm sometimes swag's number 1 enemy because I've said mean things about him. And I've actually been every company's number 1 enemy at one point. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Paul Gallant over on Facebook. You're a 67-year-old in senior league wanting to buy a new ball. Is the Ion Max good? It's super strong. Insanely strong bowling ball. So if you want really strong, it can be a good play. And Mike, my wife plants because she has left knee issues. She understands sliding is easier on the knee. However, due to issues, sliding makes her feel like she will fall. Any ideas on how to solve this? So I don't think that's an issue with the injury. I think that's more of like a mental block, the way it sounds. It doesn't sound like it's as much of a physical block. Oh boy, PJ, that's going to be a good comment. So I would recommend, like, without a ball, just try like practicing sliding at 1-step drills, then 2-step, then 3-step, then don't use a ball, but do the full walk up and then do all of it. And then that should be able to help a little bit. Brian is bowling doubles this weekend. Nice. Love that. First real test of all things. Perfect. Good luck, man. Beatrix, I have an issue with walking towards my target. What are some things I can work on to stop doing this? You don't have to walk towards your target. That's not too big of an issue, honestly. Drifting is very normal in the game. A lot of the high-level guys drift a couple of boards, or I think Belmo's at 10 boards or 15 boards. Smallwood is at least at 15 boards. So you don't have to walk towards your target anymore. That's not the optimal way to do things. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And Scrimblow, going to get a new spare ball. I'm needing a new one forever. I've had my current one for a little over a year, and it hooks way too much. Yeah, and that happens. Honestly, that's the cool thing with the Platinum Mix, is that it hooks less than most other spare balls I've thrown, which has been really cool. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Were there any other comment? Let's see. There's a couple swag things. Michael Pace, I have a swag jersey and people automatically think I'm all swag. Well, and that's unfortunately been the stereotype with swag over the last 20 years, is their fan base is very passionate, but that means anybody in a swag jersey only throws swag. Where, like, I know if I'm at a tournament and I see a guy in a swag jersey, it's 9 times out, even 99 times out of 100, they're only throwing swag stuff. Versus if I see a guy in a Storm jersey or a Deviate jersey, I know they're throwing a lot of different equipment. That might just be their favorite brand. But that's just how things have been with swag. Like, it's no fault of anybody. It's just what their fans, it's usually like a fan base of a smaller company. That's usually pretty common. They're a lot more loyal to their main brand. The really big brands don't have as much loyalty as the smaller brands do. You sounded like Big Mike talking about swag, guys. That is the meanest thing anyone has ever told me. He's yelling at me on Twitter too, I found out. But no, I mean, it's honestly fair. Like, there are a lot of guys who want to be on swag staff, and there's a lot of guys who just want to be on staff, period, and they see that swag is the easiest. So they buy a lot. I saw a couple of guys on TikTok do that recently where they switched their whole arsenal over to swag from a different brand. And they bought a bunch of swag gear, bags, shirts, and they renamed their channel sometimes to swag and to a swag name. They're not on staff. It's just how they do things. And that's fair. That's fine. You can do whatever you want, but it adds to the stereotype, which is tough. So yeah, that's where that's at. It was like, yeah, exactly. It was like Deviate back in the day. Deviate when they were first coming out. Like if somebody had a Deviate jersey, they were only throwing Deviate. And if you said anything bad about Deviate, they're going to bite your head off. When Deviate was super small and they were like kind of that, they were like the cringy, like hardcore, like metal type group. They've kind of gone away from that now in the last couple of years, but that's how they used to be. All right, let me see. I bet I missed a lot of Zach Bowling Ball Company never one-handed me. I am at times, and I wonder why they don't want to send me equipment. Oh, life is fun, guys. Life is fun. Anyways, Andrew, you're throwing 14 pounds and you're thinking about going to 13. A friend has a 13-pound 4. Since it's stronger but lighter would be something to try. Yeah, absolutely. You can try it just to see how it goes. And RJ, you know how to use the Ebonite track analyzer? I don't. I've never heard of that device before. Never heard of that device. Kevin Koch is building a ball spinner. Recommended starting point of sanding, such as pin up or logo up. No, just make sure you hit every side. I like to sand the side with the finger grip and the thumb first because it's harder to sand just because your hand is moving all the time because of the holes in the ball. So that's just personal preference. Everyone has their own. Just make sure you hit every side. Best place to sell bowling balls you don't need? Facebook Marketplace. Definitely Facebook Marketplace. Mr. Phil, 2025 USA men's event oil pattern. What do you recommend bringing? A lot of surface. Super dull stuff, super strong stuff. Yeah, I think Zero Mercy at 1,000 is a good play. I'm giving away the Patreon extra content. I am. You can go hear more detailed looks at how to increase your speed over on Patreon. CBO, can I ask how tall you are? My friends say that they can't bend far enough to not throw the ball. Oh, I'm 6'5". I feel that. I have never had a problem in bowling where I throw the ball too slow. Ever. Now, have I had the problem where I throw it too fast? All the time. My main thing is trying to slow my ball speed down. That has been my goal for years, is how do I slow my ball speed down more? And tall guys, that's just how it is. Would you say the Bionic is middle of the road ball? I would say middle of the road. I would say it's more middle of the road. Let me catch up over here. Cello. I just got the Bionic. Everyone's looks too smooth. Mine is too angular. Sand it. Definitely sand it. That'll be a little better. Johnny James, you're stuck at a 112 average using my hammer raw. Any tips for a lefty on my next ball? I wouldn't get a next ball. I would recommend trying to just get some more physical practice in. So try to look on YouTube for some tips and tricks to try to be able to throw it a little bit better. So I wouldn't really recommend more bowling balls until you're up to like a 140 to 150 average. See, Buckley, you have a Motive Evoke that has a bad drill on it. Would you recommend getting a plug? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, plugging it is A-okay. There's really no issues with plugging it. Alchemy, Summer League. My goal was to get back into bowling shape after 8 years away and get my mechanics back for two-handed style. Any suggestions for goals to shoot for now in Winter League? Summer League, my goal was to get back into bowling shape and get my mechanics back. No, I wouldn't say there should be any score goals. I would say just trying to get your game to a spot that you feel comfortable with it. It's always hard to say, like, I'm going to average 170, even though I'm mainly working on mechanics and starting in with your two-handed game and all that. I would recommend, like, I want to be able to be really confident in how my game looks, or like get my hand more underneath the ball or boost my ball speed, something like that. Ooh, there you go, Jazzy B. Tighter shoes, get the KR Strike Force Mavens video coming soon. Be ready. Brian, not related to bowling. My son and I got into the Spurs locker room. Nice. Tobias Harris doesn't have a nameplate yet. That's awesome. G-Man, can you explain the best way to use a urethane ball and can get it to hook in oil? Yeah, sand it and play straight. This the closer to the gutter you can play, the better with urethanes because they're going to be so smooth, and make sure it has some surface on it. Paul Gallant, how often should I clean my bowling balls in the shop or sand it down myself? So you're supposed to clean your ball after every 3 to 5 games. I clean mine by sanding them. So I would, if it's a dull ball, I'll sand it every like 5 to 10 games. If it's a shinier ball, I'll give it a resurface every like 15 to 25 games. Chloe, a guy in league, used it all summer. That's Brunswick for you, same as my Black Widow. And yeah, I mean, like every brand, somebody can average 230 with. Like there are guys who are going to be skilled enough that can throw 230 with almost every bowling ball. Like I'm not a crazy skilled bowler, but I averaged 220 and 228 last season. And I had my Discord choose my bowling balls all year long. So like you get to a point where on an easy enough house shot, anybody can average high with almost anything. And which means they're just a good bowler generally. Like, and I'm not even great by any means. And there's guys well above me who could probably average 230 with any ball on the market. Tom, what are your thoughts on the Nationals patterns keeping secret? I am not a fan of it. I get why they do it because USBC made that decision listening to the feedback of the middle divisions, thinking that the upper divisions had an advantage by being able to put out the oil pattern in their home center. That is just a lack of education in the bowling world, because if you put down a pattern in your home center versus in Las Vegas and South Point, they're not playing the same at all. If someone didn't tell you they were the same, you wouldn't think they were the same pattern. And that is a common thing with all oil patterns, is if you put it out in 2 different centers, it's going to play 2 different ways. So I'm not a fan of it because they listened to the crowd that did not know that fact, was not educated enough on that point. So I wish they would turn it around, just give us the patterns, because right now there is actually an advantage and disadvantage for when you go to nationals. If you go early, you're a guinea pig. So that's how it is. But if we had the patterns, no one would be a guinea pig. Everybody would be on the same playing field. Now, would people try to put down the pattern and practice on it? Yes. Would that be useful? No. Also, the patterns have been the same for the last 3 years. So we know what the patterns are. So that's like, if you go back and watch my Nationals video for this year, I told everybody, here are what the patterns are probably going to play like. Sure enough, it's exactly how the patterns played. All right, let's get back to it. Let's see. We hit cello. Matthew, what's up, man? Do you give balls to high schools when you're done with them? I have given a handful in the past. But yeah, a lot of my bowling balls, I will try to sell, to try to make some of their money back online, or in our local pro shop, we'll plug them and resell them. Or yeah, I'll give them out to various people, not just high schools. One kind of funny thing is that actually a lot of high schools have too many bowling balls, or some of them have too many bowling balls. That was our local high school for a while. They had too many bowling balls, so they actually refused to take more of them. And everybody wants to give to the kids, of course, but sometimes that's not the play, and you got to give to other league bowlers who are struggling. Sometimes that's the play. So what I would do for a while is I would give a bunch of bowling balls out to the league I was in through work, where I think I probably gave out 10 bowling balls at this point to those guys, just to get them into the game and get them on the right foot, so they didn't have to spend $250 on a brand new ball. And that's been really beneficial, because that creates bowlers who are going to be around bowling for a lot longer. So I wouldn't just focus on like, I need to give a bowling ball to a kid if I'm getting rid of it. I would recommend just anybody who seems like they need a bowling ball. Someone new to the game is always beneficial. I think it's a better way to look at it. 300 Dreaming, lower speed, medium rev with the warning alert, fit for a league house ball. Heard mixed reviews. I love the alert. If you love the alert, I'd go for it. If you love the alert, grab a warning. Jerry Mars, what's up? 2 more days. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I've got to go to the shop tomorrow to clean up my equipment. I got to put on that parking lot grit on a couple of them. I actually just drilled a Wicked Gremlin that I got to try out a little bit, see how that rolls. And yeah, be ready for B Squad. I'm excited. I'll be watching the live stream on the 3-hour 45-minute drive down. I didn't realize it was that far until I looked at it yesterday, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a fun time. It'll be a really fun. I'm super excited for this weekend. This weekend, by the way, for everyone who's new, is the 11th Frame Open. This is a massive event. It's virtually sold out. There's a couple spots left right now. Go contact Joe Engelkeese if you want to jump in. But it is a massive event, almost $3,000 for first place. I don't believe there's a pro in the field this year, or many pros in the field. There's a lot of college standouts, but it's really the best bowlers of the upper Midwest are going to this event. Very fun event. Cherry Lanes in Dubuque, Iowa is a super cool bowling center. There's a casino on the bottom floor. It's just a very fun town, fun place. So if you want to do some amateur bowling, I highly recommend it. Super fun term. I believe $175 to enter is the entry fee. So yeah, definitely less than an elite tour event if you wanted to go to that otherwise. There are a couple of PBA guys. I got to go check out the field a little bit. I haven't really looked at it much. Oh, it's not going to be on 11th Frame. It'll be on Jiba. Greater Iowa Bowling Association. All right, let's see. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through to see if there's any. AJ Chapman I see. Not a pro. Landon Jordan's going to be there. That'll be cool. Haven't seen him in a minute. Boog's on the list. Okay, so he's on C Squad. Oh, all the pros are on C Squad. Jeez. I'm not seeing many others, just on a quick scrolly through. I know everybody's favorite TikTok live streamer, Victor Cortez and Ryan Powers, are going to be bowling in the morning. Oh, Kevin Magnuson's going. That'll be sweet. Mills is actually in the field. Nice. I didn't know Mills was bowling a whole lot right now. Matt Gasson's in the field. Jake Bedard. It'll be great seeing him again. I'm with B Squad is all the college kids, it seems like. We've got all the college kids who want to go there and then go gamble at the casino for the next 12 hours. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, it'll be on InsideBowling.com. So Mike Flanagan, who I have to call in about an hour, it will be live streaming the whole event, which will be fun. That'll be awesome. I'm excited. Tori Casey in West Washington about my stuff. Went to a new center. Dude had a GB4, but 14 pounds. Oh, yeah, you're the GB4 fan. Was very clear I need a medium smooth to go with my Venom Shock. Fair. Jay Bird, when standing left on the burn, why do symmetrical pearls round the breakpoint better than ASIMs? So the reason that ASIMs look worse is because their cores are going to be stronger and flare more. So they're actually going to use, the best way to think about it is like they use up their energy quicker. So stronger balls, they want to hook sooner. So if you're playing further left, you're covering more boards and there's less oil. That core is going to keep using its energy earlier than a symmetrical ball. So then it's just going to puke out is what I call it, where it's just going to not have energy left at the end of the pattern versus a symmetrical ball, which is going to get further down lane, which is why. Oh, there's 2 casinos. I didn't even know there was a second casino in town. Oh yeah, they're gonna ransack both of them. Chris Daly, have you tried any Liquid Death sparkling water? I did, and I just dumped them out. I had them for like a year. I was not a fan. I really wanted a drink that was going to taste good alongside like water, and no bueno. No, I wasn't a fan, unfortunately. I wish I was. Moonshine, Gem, a golden one. Wow, impressive. Bionic, Rockstar Amped, Danger Zone, solid. Gem, golden one, Bionic, Amped, DZ. I really like that arsenal right now. You have one of everything, which is really cool. So it really depends on where you're noticing gaps. Do you need something between a Bionic and a Gem, between an Amped and a Danger Zone, something like that? That's really what you should start looking for. What are my thoughts on 6-inch pin drilling? If you need to kill the flare of a ball, sure, because it's going to make it hook super, super late down lane. Don't go over 6 inches because that messes with the core and it makes it all types of funky. But I usually don't recommend anything above 5.5 inches personally because it can mess with the core otherwise. But if you want something super weak, go nuts. John LaBelle, been using the same Scooby-Doo ball. Oh, that's so cool. That was my first bowling ball, actually. Joe, just want your thoughts on the Street Rally. Yeah, it's fine. It's cheap, which is really nice. So if you want a cheap ASIM Pearl, that's going to be the cheapest one out there. I think you can still find them, if I remember right. If you want a replacement of it, that's where like the strategy, the intense collision, the Spartan Pearl all come into play. Forgot about that. Everyone forgets the strategy exists. Tori, any new ball charts coming out? Yeah, we just released our Brunswick ball chart. So our Brunswick ball chart was just live. Storm one just got updated with the IQ and the Wicked Gremlin, and the Motive one is up to date as well. So all of them are up to date as of right now. So if you go to my website, you can check out all of them on the categorization guides section. So that is everything. Has anyone ever called you Shammy Daddy? Moving on to Nate. What should the next ball in my bag be? Nate, I don't even know what your bag looks like anymore, man. Good to see you though. We'll have to check that out when we get a little bit closer to season. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Jazzy, I wasn't there during the last live. Is this the time to try and sell your used stuff with leagues approaching? I don't know when the best time to sell bowling balls is. I would say middle of the season is a little bit better of a time. Maybe not right before the season, because I'm still seeing, like, I can kind of see the trends of like when people are getting back into bowling. I'm not seeing that push back into bowling quite yet. So I would at least wait a couple of weeks. Not El Toxico. What did you say, man? How do you feel about the Alpha Crux? I like it. It's one of the smoothest balls on the market. Looks really good. Samuel, do you recommend keeping the Vengeance at 2,000 or 1,000? I would go 2,000. 1,000 might be too much. And Sidetrack, I second the one waiting for more balls. I was so eager that I bought a dozen and then realized my PAP changed. Yep, that's the big one, is when you're under like a 150 average, you're still improving your release, your game, so your PAP is going to keep changing. So that's why I don't really recommend many balls until you're at least at 150, because then your game is a little more solidified than it is before that. John, we hit. Dojo, what are your thoughts on the Hammer Fallout? It looks really good. A lot of people are really liking it right now. A lot of people are loving it. It's just that middle of the road hammer ball that they've been missing for 5 years, 7 years, whatever it's been. It's been a minute. All Day Dough. Question is the next factor close to the in tour? Oh, to the IQ tour? No. Smoothest is the next factor, as smooth as I've seen. No, the IQ tour is going to be both weaker and a little bit smoother down lane compared to the next factor. Paul Gallen, I throw my 14-pound ball at about 12 miles an hour. Would the Ion Max be too strong? Yeah, I wouldn't go Ion Max. I'd go something a little more symmetrical. Generally, the lower ball speed, lower rev rate are going to like symmetrical balls a little bit better. Andrew, I've given 37 in the past year and a half to youth in high school, and they loved Motive. Well, that's good. Yeah, no, it's kind of funny that, like, if you're in an area with staffers, because staffers get so many bowling balls, generally either for cheap or free, that and they can't sell them if they buy them through the company, that the high school team in that area is generally going to only throw that equipment. So like, I know where Barnes is in Texas, he brings them to various schools, and they're all Storm people now because that's what Barnes gives them, are Storm products. So that's kind of funny. That's one of the positives of like, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize with like the guys who get balls, say, for free, like all the influencers who get them for free. It's a net positive in a lot of ways for the companies, because the companies are getting free marketing on the bowling balls, free reviews. And if you know any other industries, you know, just gifting a product to somebody does not count for a review anymore. You have to usually give them a product and give them money to do a review for something. Then like the guys can't sell the balls, so then they have to give them away. Well, if they give them away because they have so many and they're going to give away the ones they maybe don't feel as closely to, they're going to give them to a high school or new bowlers. And what is that new bowler going to do? They're going to enjoy that ball company. So the companies get a lot on giving away free products. They get more than a lot of people realize. It's kind of the dollars you can't track that are really big for the ball companies that they get out of those things. Celtic, what are your thoughts on the Dexter Slide Pilot? I don't even know what that is. Oh, they just announced that, didn't they? Corrective Slide Sole. It features two zone design, higher friction S6 for a controlled start and a lower friction S10 trailing zone to promote a straight, repeatable drift-free slide. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's good or bad. I like the idea. They already have it in the Sawtooth design, so I don't know what the difference is between this and a Sawtooth, but I'll have to look into it a little bit more. Thanks for letting me know about that, Celtic. I didn't know that existed. El Toxco, you have a Monsoon, Bionic, Vengeance Returns, Purple, and Alpha. Nice. That's awesome. Good arsenal. Ralphie, any opinion on the Entity Solid? It was fine. It wasn't special. It was good. It was a little weaker in the strong and smooth category, a little bit quicker than most other balls there, but it wasn't like the greatest ball ever. But it was good, especially for the price right now. It's probably worth it. And Truman, thank you for the follow. Celtic, how to use bowling score trackers and statistics like PinPal. I love using the app for statistics, but I feel like I bowl bad because I see my scores start dropping, so I stopped using it. Yeah, so I will actually have a video coming out with a new one called Strike Pals early next week. It's going to be on Monday on my short form platforms. I am not a guy who tracks my scores. I think there are pros and cons to it. There's a big mental hurdle you sometimes have to go through, and you can dig too far into the numbers. A lot of guys love the numbers, so I think it's cool in that regard, but you have to not care about the numbers. Like, I know for me, when I first tried using one, I was maybe a 205 average, 200 average maybe, and I had a mental block because I would put in my scores and I'd get nervous. Like, I want to keep those stats high. And that actually caused a problem. So I just stopped using it completely. And it was actually better for my game. UA Cowboy, Liquid Death reformulated a while back and improved the flavor. I think I tried them. I don't know. When did they reformulate? Let me know. If it was within the last year, then that's the ones I've tried. Steve, as a lone lefty, usually what's the best way to break down or manage the lanes for myself? Slow equipment. Slow equipment, so then when you start finding your own transition, you can just make small 2-in-1 moves off of it. Blackout, Big Hurt, a Hammer Fallout goes below the Black Widow Dynasty. All right. Remember, we are doing a full Q&A on everything and anything bowling. If you guys are enjoying this or this is helping you in any way, make sure to drop a follow or subscription, especially if I helped you answer any questions. The best way to help support, completely free of charge. And it is just a very great way to stay up to date on any ZVL content. Otherwise, make sure to hit the like button on whatever stream you're on. If you're on TikTok, double tap your screen. Twitch, you can't like it. Facebook, you can like it. And then also YouTube, a like is always very much appreciated. Get this stuff out to more bowlers like you and I. Otherwise, let's keep on going with all of the fun questions. Alchemy, I definitely don't need it, but I've had one eye on the Max Thrill Hybrid for the better part of 26. Haven't been able to get myself to pull the trigger. Maybe in 2027. Fair. All in favor of changing the channel name to Shammy Daddy? No. Nate, Vengeance versus Axiom. They're supposed to be close because the Axiom's so old at this point. The Vengeance is going to be a lot earlier and a lot smooth. Well, it's probably going to be similar smoothness down lane, but it is going to be a bit earlier. But the Vengeance is kind of the reincarnation of the Axiom, is what I've gotten out of it. So if you do want an updated Axiom, that's where the Vengeance comes into play. And it is a lot stronger, so you might have to put like 3,000 or 4,000 on it or let it lane shine a little bit for it to really be like fully Axiom-like. Jaybird, what can cause the ball to flip hard off the breakpoint? Revs, layout, surface adjustments. A lot of things. A lot of different things can cause a ball to be a little bit quicker off the breakpoint. It can be the weaker bowling balls are going to do that. The weaker bowling balls are going to want to be sharper off of a breakpoint. It can be due to your ball roll is a very important one. So if you have high axis rotation, your ball spins more like this compared to like this. That's going to cause your ball to be a lot quicker off of the spot. Layouts can do it as well. Some of those longer pins and shorter val angles are going to cause your ball to be quicker off the spot as well. And surface too. The shinier your ball is, the later it's going to hook, but the sharper it's going to be. David, my league starts in 2 weeks. Took the summer off for injury recovery. Really excited to get back on it. Good. Nice. That's going to be awesome to see. Jaybird, I want to drill that Revenge Pearl, but I want to experiment with a motion that has it go long but flip crazy hard. You're going to like a 5x30 layout and then keep the shine on it. That's going to be really good for you. RJ or TJ, Devin. What's up, TJ? What would be a typical layout for a high track player? Honestly, the layouts don't really matter if you're high track or low track. Typical layouts for most people are going to be something like for dual angle 40 by 45 or 40 by 4.5 by 45. Something like that is generally like middle of the road for most people. Doesn't really matter high track or low track though for like what's typical. RJ, can I replace my Scorpion Strike and Rockstar with a Bionic? Yes, that's going to kind of fit that middle ground between the two balls. So yeah, I think that can be a good 2-for-1. And Andrew, not a motive staffer, all bought and paid for, but I have been to Muskegon and met Nick and Dan. Oh, nice. Perfect. Nice. Let me scroll back up over here. Colton, what ball would you recommend for people with a lower rev rate? Stronger balls are going to be your best friend. Those stronger pieces are going to be a little better. Ion Max Solid would be a good grit. 2000 grit generally. B-Roy, how would Fiore do with a black hammer? That's one of the big what ifs in the world is like, what if Jesper had a purple hammer in his hand in the days of the super soft urethanes? Or what would someone like, I know there is always past arguments of like, what would like a Parker Bone or what would a Walter Ray look like with a high road in the high road golden days? What would that look like? Or even right now, like who would be a good one to pick? What would Don Barrett's with Storm now? I would have said him. Who does Brunswick have that's a righty that's really good right now? What would Boog look like with a Bionic or something like that? So a lot of what ifs. I don't know, because Brunswick does make the best urethanes. That's why every lefty except for Jesper and Matt Russo are with Brunswick. The reason is urethane. So Buckley, Storm Trend, Evoke Hysteria, Motive Evoke. Too similar? No, there's really very few similarities between the three, so I think you're good there. Colton, thank you for the follow as well. Riley, I just bought a new ball, the Equinox Solid. Nice, love that for you. And Bomber, after bowling with my bowling shoes for a week, the bottom of the shoe detached. What shoes did you get, man? What shoes did that? Brock, do you expect USB-C checks to be mailed out on time? I never pay attention. I always know it's going to be a couple of months because I can't imagine what that process looks like. Like, I wonder how many, they're probably writing what, 10,000 checks? 20,000 checks probably. And then they have to like quadruple check, making sure all of them are okay. And they got to go through average things with the lower divisions, make sure nobody's sandbagging, boot the people who are sandbagging. Kind of the same way, like I heard the story of how Minnesota State USBC, the problems they had this year. There was a sandbagger who was a notorious sandbagger who did really well in a division. So they disqualified him for being a sandbagger. He was like a 200 average, but he came in with a 160. And he decided to rebuke it and fight it, going to the national side. And then there was just this big back and forth with push back, like when everybody could get their checks. All you need is one of those guys to delay the whole process. So if you take out the scumbags, you're probably good to go. Let's see. Joe, I heard you mention it, but can you recommend any insoles for bowling shoes? Yeah, the ones I'm in right now are blue Macas. They are used by a bunch of MLB players. They're used by a bunch of NFL players. A ton of different sports use them. So, those are ones that I like right now. They're comfy and they're no slip, which is really nice for bowling. But otherwise, like there's a lot of insoles that can be good. If you do want to get the blue Macas, you can use code ZVL Bowling for 10% off, which is pretty cool. Rod, Chris Barnes recently mentioned he's semi-fingertip grip. What are the pros and cons for semi-fingertip? Feel. Feel is the main thing, and how quickly or slowly you can get your fingers out of the ball and your flexibility all affect that. That one, I think, for him was just how he felt, how it felt in his hand, and he's been doing this game for a minute, so he knew that felt a little bit better than just going regular. So I don't really know many pros or cons in all honesty. It's just really how quickly or slowly those fingers get out of the ball. And that's why he's on the national re-rate list. Exactly. And he might actually get disqualified from other stuff. Who knows? Maybe from all USB-C competition. Local Pro gave me my first urethane black angle 40 years ago. Nice. That's awesome. Monsoon versus Typhoon. Monsoon is way smoother and way stronger. Mike, I use Lane Talk really just to track spare percentage. Absolutely. That's another app that works for that. GJ, what other balls do you suggest I have? You have a Spartan Pearl, Rockstar Amped, and a Supra Clutch. So you have a lot of shiny stuff. Maybe a smoother ball might be a good play for you. Solid Rockstar, Monsoon, GB5, Venom Shock, things like that. Philip, you tried sliding for the first time last night with some drills and you're glad you can walk today. Hey, It's a little bit to get used to. Footwork is the hardest thing to change in bowling, so it's understandable. Tori, lefty, leaning speed dominant. You have a Theorem Solid, Severe Collision, Venom Shock, and an Emerald Fury. Do you need you need medium sharp? I think you would like something like a Bionic in that slot. Bionic, Stealth Mode Hybrid could be really good for you. Vengeance Returns. Motive honestly has very little in that camp right now. Sigma Tour might be a little too weak for you, but that would be my next bet from them. All right, let us keep on trucking. We got 7:30, not too bad. We got a lot of people hanging in. Hope you guys are enjoying your time so far. It's been a fun stream, nice and casual, which is great. Brian, what kind of ball motion would suggest that you make a 2-in-1 move versus a larger 5-in-3? That's all personal. So I don't make many 5-in-3 moves. I think those are really meant for those situations where you have a lot more breakdown on your pair, or if you're just in the wrong part of the lane completely or making a big ball switch. So most people in League really only need to make 2-in-1 moves. They usually don't need the big zone changes. But if you throw it and say you go Brooklyn, that's when you need to make a 5-in-3 move. Or if you miss the head pin completely, that's where a 5-in-3 move might be the play. But if you light 2-pin or you leave a high 4-pin, that's where you make a 2-in-1 instead of like a big 5-in-3. Do I think the Equinox Hybrid is coming stateside? Yeah, I had somebody in the Discord say that that got put on the USB-C approved list. It looks cool. I have no idea. That sounds a lot less like an overseas ball than a lot of other balls on that list, so it wouldn't surprise me by any means. We should be getting a new announcement for a ball in the next couple of weeks, so I'd be ready either this Friday or next Friday. That's something will get announced, but I have no idea if it would be this ball or a different ball. I'm not really sure. I don't know who. Well, we just had Storm and Rotogrip drop a ball, so I don't know. They used to have, like, when they would drop one ball at a time, it would be Storm, Rotogrip, Storm, Global, Storm, Rotogrip. And now that we had two drop at the same time, I don't know what we'll get next. I'd assume it won't be Global. They don't have many balls for Global. Let's see. Jazzy B, my Axiom still looks good next to my Vengeance. Okay, there you go. Hashtag Axiom Gang. Chris, what do you think about 60 by 4.5 by 30? That's a great versatile middle of the road layout. Tim, what balls were you using in the latest video for adults versus kids? So on the left lane, I was using a Paragon Shadow. On the right lane, I was using my Storm Mix. I was going to go with my concept, but because we did really well in game one, I decided against it just to try my mix to go a little bit straighter and keep myself out of danger. And that's what I did. I had a clean game. Didn't strike that much, but stayed clean on that really hard short pattern. Coach Nate Clark. Shout out to the MCC Tigers. If you want a place to bowl in college yet this year, reach out to Coach Nate Clark. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. J-Rock, is it true that layouts and PAP or impacts probably 7% of ball motion? Yeah, honestly, that sounds fairly accurate to me. Just because, yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. Because layouts are more that fine-tuning measure. I think the bowling world, and I know I've talked to Ron actually about this too, is the bowling world focuses on layouts way too much. We are a little bit too deep on, like, what is that magical special layout? When in reality, the main question we should answer is picking a ball that works better, because the ball, the cover, the core, and the surface are, yeah, a lot. In this case, in Ron's sense, 93% of the ball reaction. Versus, I mean, yeah, a lot of people probably think that layouts are like 30% or 50% of the ball reaction. But remember, it's really the ball itself that matters more. And as long as you pick middle of the road layouts, you're good to go. Do I have something on my screen? I do. Interesting. There we go. Weird. Huh. Is that a bug? That might have been a bug. Cody, Bug likes weak bowling balls. He does on house shots. Yeah, but he doesn't, I mean, he's rev dominant, so that makes sense. But on, like, actual patterns, he won't use, like, a Fury on a super strong or super heavy and flat pattern. Let's see. Jay, I have a low diff ball that I'm trying to bowl straighter. Should I try to polish like a Vice Slip Agent? I don't know what Vice Slip Agent is. If you want to try using some polish, I'd go Power Edge from Storm. instead of, I don't know what slip agent is. No one uses that. No one competitive does, so I wouldn't use that. But a .009 bowling ball, that's got to be a plastic ball. That doesn't have a core in it. So, yeah, keep it polished. Yeah, exactly. Belmo with a purple hammer. Yeah, we'll never know. Now, when that was happening, Brunswick had really bad, Brunswick, Hammer, Ebonite, before and after both the acquisition. Storm was leading the way in reactive balls by a mile. So while Purple Hammer guys were crushing the fresh, the Storm guys were crushing everything after that. So that's where Belmo had a little bit more of an advantage. I think the big one is like, what would certain Motive guys do in other brands? Because Motive never had a true urethane, almost ever. They've had two, I think, total. They had the Rampage Pearl, and they had was it the blue one? Was actually urethane made? No, not the blue one. One of them was actual urethane. I don't remember which. Tim, seen there's possibly a new Equinox Pearl coming out. No, there was an Equinox hybrid on the USB-C approved list. Equinox Pearl, that was the original one. So they will not probably make another Pearl one. So Brunswick will do that once in a while, like they did that with the Heckler series, where they had the Heckler and then the Heckler hybrid and then the Heckler Taunt, which was also a hybrid Heckler. Storm doesn't like to do that ever. They'll never release the same cover stock type of the same ball close together. So there's a 0% chance there's an Equinox Pearl coming anytime soon. 0% chance. Let's see. Ben M, is the real time a good ball? Yeah, real time was a great ball. Let's see. Gabriel, what's up, man? If I create a 6-ball arsenal, I need something below a hyperdrive, above a phase 2. Vengeance, Equinox Solid. Those are probably the two main ones. Am I sponsored by Bowler Store? I am not sponsored by Bowler Store. No, I am sponsored by bowling.com. I'm partnered with them. Big Hurt, you have an Equinox Solid, a Black Widow Dynasty, an Ion Max Pearl, Stealth Mode, Danger Zone, Ocean Vibe. Do I have any gaps? Yeah, you don't really have a medium sharp ball between your Ion Max Pearl and your Danger Zone. There's a really big gap there. So you might want like some kind of symmetrical Pearl to fit there. Or Stealth Mode Hybrid. Speaking of Jaybird, do you think an OG Stealth Hybrid is a good replacement for a Sublime? They're not going to be very close. The Stealth Hybrid is going to be a lot slower down lane, where the Sublime is going to be a little more skid snappy. Doesn't Bowler Store make apparel? Yeah, they do. Yep, Bowler Store does currently make my apparel. So I don't have any partnerships though, or like sponsorships through them. So they have my my apparel, well, not really rights even. I don't even know if we made a contract, but yeah, they sell my apparel currently. So I have a couple of t-shirts and sweatshirts out with Bowler Store. There we go. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, yeah, it was the purple tank. Yeah. The purple tank was because they were making the jokes of like, this is the better purple ball. And then people realized that the purple tank shined up in like 5 shots. And they're like, oh, just kidding. This ball kind of sucks. And then it went away. Yeah, that ball was kind of sad. That ball was not good. How did it work that Bowler Store makes your apparel? Do you know Michael? Yeah, I know Michael and Erica. I crossed with Michael at a event in Michigan, and that was when my channel really started to kind of go a little bit, and we got talking. So, yeah, it was about last summer that they started making some apparel for me. Cody, do I have any Radical balls? Not currently, no. The only one I had was the Torpedo Direct Hit, and that one is currently being plugged and sold. So, no, I have 0 Radical balls in my lineup right now. I think that is the only brand that I don't own, right? I have a Swag ball. I have a Motive. I have a couple Motive ball. No, I only have 1 Motive ball now. I'm getting rid of my Evoke. That thing did not match up for me. I have Ebonite balls. Do I have a Track ball? Ooh, I might. Oh, no. What is Track? No, wait. I don't think I do. I don't think I have a Track ball. Oh, I do. Paragon Shadow. Yep, I have a Trackball. I have a Dark Side for Deviate. Brunswick, I have a handful. I have an Alert. I have a Combat, things like that. Hammer, I have a handful. Effect Tour is the main one. That might actually be the only Hammer ball I have right now. I don't have a Black Widow. I have a Zero Mercy Solid, but it sucks for me. I don't have any vibes. Columbia, I do have a Super CUDA Power Core Pearl, but I'm selling it. It's not a good ball. So I'm getting rid of that. So I don't have any Columbia technically. So I don't have Radical and I don't have Columbia. Those are the only two that I don't have. Let's keep on going. Bad layout on a good ball is better than a good layout on a bad ball. Absolutely. Oh, I do have a Black Widow V1. You're right. I do have a Black Widow V1 that I will probably be selling very soon because I don't throw that ball and it did not match up well for me at all. The cover is weirdly weak on that ball. I thought it was going to be I thought the cover would be a little stronger on there. Let's see. Cody, you got the Deep Ocean. Talking to Big Hurt. Bowling Brian, wondering what your thoughts are on the concept for house shots. I think it's a really good ball on house shots for high rev players. High rev or rev dominant players will love the concept on a house shot. Outside of those high rev players or the rev dominant guys, it's not really a great house shot ball. It's just a little too much like urethane to actually be decent on it. If you do want a ball reaction like that, that's where like the NU 2.0 is going to be a little bit weaker, a little bit quicker compared to like a concept or even a urethane on those house shots. So it's going to be a little bit better for more people, or even like the Intel Tour too. That one you can put a little bit of shine on and it can be a bit weaker and quicker than a concept as well. Big Mike, you're looking for a different layout. Right now you're using 5 by 4 by 3.5 and it's too strong. Probably my ball choice as well. I'm thinking 5.5 by 5 by so your 2LS, I would recommend I would not go to 2 by 6 by 5. I don't think that's a good play. I think your 5.5 and 5 is good, but I would lower the 3.25 to like 2. Drop that to like 2 inches. That's going to lower the differential and make it a little more. Ben, I'm live on 4 different platforms. So if I haven't answered your question or seen your chat yet, apologies. I am about 5 to 10 minutes behind on chat right now. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Facebook right now. So we're live on 4 different platforms. So apologies if I haven't hit your question, but I am slowly making my way through the list. Let's see. Alan, I've been using my old Black Widow Gold as one of my weaker balls. Ooh, that's an oldie. Pairs nice with my Zero Mercy Solid, Paragon Shadow, Fallout, Dynasty, and Black Hammer. Nice. That's awesome. And Classic Products is hopping in. What is going on? Hope you're doing well. Everybody be on your best behavior. No, I'm kidding. But that's awesome to see. Good to see you. John LaBelle, more shirt companies need to make 3-button Henleys. Yeah, not many do they? That's a bit of a more rare one. Absolutely. All right, let me catch back up over here. Robert, I hear the Evil Eye Pearl is going to be weak. So, yeah, I've been looking very closely at the Evil Eye Pearl because Ron Hicklin's review opened my eyes quite a bit on that ball because it's very rare to see a ball review come out that negative from somebody. And I know Ron will gladly speak his mind if a ball is good or bad. And that one was very bad. So I was very curious. I started digging a little more, watching a few more people throw it. And unfortunately, Radical doesn't get that many ball reviews. So it's a little bit more of a question mark than like a hammer ball where you get a billion reviews. But the big thing I'm noticing is that the cover is a little bit weaker than what you would expect. So if you put a stronger layout on that ball, which is most of the layouts that you can put on it, it doesn't match up very well. Is what I'm seeing, is that the core is too strong for the cover, so you run into the Apex Jackal situation, where the cover just can't keep up with a core that's flaring that much. That's what it looked like on Ron's review, because that's why when he sanded it, the cover acted a little bit stronger. It actually picked up the lane. That's when it started rolling better. So when I watched like Virtue guys throw it, and I looked at the layout they had, that's why theirs looked a little bit better, is their layout was a little bit weaker than what Ron had on that ball. So yeah, I think the cover is a little bit weaker than people expected, but the core is still fairly strong. That's what he calls the intentional core. I call it the gimmick core. 2 different ways to say it. Mine is a little more negative of a connotation and gets you yelled at. Matthew, I do have purple hammers. Yes, you're right. I do have a couple purple hammers. I have an old one and a new one. I haven't thrown those in a minute. I haven't really bowled a tournament where they're legal in a little while. Minnesota has banned a lot of the urethane stuff. And in the tournaments where you can throw it, it's usually easier patterns, so you don't want to throw urethane. So I haven't thrown that in, God, when was the last time I threw a purple? March, maybe? February, potentially? I just never bring it. DT Move, would you recommend another ball? You have a Phase AI, an Overseas Magenta Hammer, and a T-Zone. I don't know what the magenta hammer is. I'm guessing that's a urethane. Yes, I think more than one reactive ball will be good for you. But really depends what you're kind of aiming for. I just had my OneDrive give me a look back at your memories for a picture I do not recognize and does not have me in it. Interesting. All right, let me keep going. And yeah, Motive said urethane no more. Steve Harris, first time viewer trying to get into bowling. Hey, welcome, Steve. Welcome to bowling. Yeah, this is a great place to start. If you have questions on bowling, please let me know. Welcome to the sport. I hope you have a great time. Chris Daly, after you plug the torpedo, you should crack it open and use the core for demonstrations. I can't. I sold it. That would be mean to that guy. Let's see. Andrew Burns, I have a snapshot pearl in the hybrid. The pearl hits friction and jumps. Hybrid scuff to 2000 so you can play deeper. There you go. I like that. Jaybird, you got an idea for me. You could do a quick video on different sport patterns and ideal balls to use for that pattern and how to play it. If I had access to our oiling machine at my local center, I would, but I don't really have access for that. That's why a lot of my videos, you actually see me on like a burnt up condition. I don't really have that. I do not have that power at all at my local center to be able to put out any patterns that I want. It is not a thing that I am allowed to do. So when I get the opportunity, I do. There just aren't many situations where I am able to bowl on those patterns. Kevin Koch, didn't Ron have a ball review a while back that he said wasn't good and got another blaming the ball hadn't fully cured yet? Yeah, that was the full effect. Yeah, he said the full effect sucked and it was because the ball just came off the press and was too early. And that one sounded pretty legit, like he talked to Brunswick about it. Now, it is one of the many situations where a negative review comes out from somebody and then the ball company talks to them. And that happens a lot. A lot. I know Ron definitely talked to Motive when the Apex Jackal situation was happening. I know Luke probably talked to Motive. I know Charles from the Hype had a negative review come out of, I believe it was like the Energize or something. And they sent him another one and said, hey, put this layout on it. It's going to make it better. And it rolled very similar, ironically. It does happen. But yeah, Ron already said he's going to put a new Evil Eye Pearl review out as well with a different layout, one of the more intentional layouts. I can go on a rant about the intentional core design and the layouts for hours and hours. Exhibit A is that nobody actually drills the transform Pearl right now into the pin down method where you drill into the wing. It just doesn't happen. It's a good ball on its own. So to each their own, but I will hold that rant for now. I've made that rant many times. Alchemy, DVA Marketing as the leader in no thumb bowling. Do you agree with this and think they deserve more love? They do deserve more love. The marketing has actually bit them is the problem. Because a lot of people think that you have to be no thumb to throw deviate. And a lot of their old fans actually turned away because they are catering to no thumb. There's still a lot of hatred for two-handed bowling, unfortunately. It's very sad. And that crowd will not throw deviate because they have no thumb tech. Even though, like, I think a lot of people look into it a little too much. Like, we've had Brian Buckosh on the show talking about this, where the designs of the core aren't specifically like screw the one-handers. Like, they do both, but the marketing was these cores are made with no thumb tech in mind, with no thumbers in mind, that these cores can be drilled for both and still have good reactions for both. But a lot of people saw it as, oh, they only are balls that are for no thumb people. That doesn't matter for me. And that's just not true. So I think the marketing actually kind of bit them a little too much, where it actually pushed more people away than it brought in. What do you think about the IQ Sapphire? I think it's an IQ Pearl, which is really good. It's like a stronger and smoother Typhoon is where I see it. Big Hurt. Would a Deep Ocean Vibe fill the gap for the medium, strong, sharp category? No, definitely not. It's too weak. Cody, probably with the compound finish. Steve Harris, the last time I went bowling, which was a week ago, I averaged 65. I'm using house balls and I can't find one that fits. That's one of the hardest problems with bowling is if you use the stuff they have at the center, it won't fit. The shoes are bad. The bowling balls are generic drilling. So if you do want to get into it a little more, I would recommend talking to a bowling pro shop in your area. I would ask somebody at the bowling alley where the closest pro shop is, and they'll be able to help you out. And it'll be about like 100 to 110 bucks to get your own ball with a custom fit. And that's going to feel a lot better than those house balls do. Mikey, will you be in Dubuque this weekend? I will. I am bowling B squad at the 11th Frame Open. Jay Bird, I'm not to take shots. Oh, you're not. Don't worry. Like pull up an image from Kegel, put up your ideal choice of equipment, and talk about how you'd play. Oh yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, I did that a little bit on like how to play a short pattern, how to play a long pattern. I think I have those videos coming up again soon. I have like a repeat, like a schedule now of when videos come out. Some of the new ones that are going to be coming soon, of course, like best arsenal for league. We're going to really put an emphasis on league coming soon, but also a core and cover guide as well. I'm going to redo my core and cover guides from like, I think it was like 8 months ago. So should be a fun time. Mikey, I'm going down with Ryan Powers, Victor Cortez, and a few others. Unsure if you know them. Oh, I know them real well. Yeah, I am big fans. No, yeah, it'll be fun to see Victor and Ryan again. So awesome. That'll be good. Yeah, you guys are on A squad. So I'm hoping to get there a little bit earlier so I can go and hang out and watch what you guys are doing. Rod, I do not have a Scorpion low flare anymore. I do not. I plugged it because it was dead. I have another one that I don't have drilled yet. So I haven't drilled it yet. Oh, you're on C squad. Oh, okay. Nice. Andrew Burns, my PSO showed me a ball that the owner tried to plug himself with airplane glue. That's awesome. Oh, that's unfortunate. Tank, I'm ordering a concept. You're thinking 45 by 4.5 by 20. I think that could be good. And Jay Bird, how you did the long pattern, short pattern video a year ago with different patterns. You'll have endless content. Yeah, and the big thing, those are always tough because the surface of the lanes matters so much. So I have a lot of footage, luckily, that I can use of like how to properly play certain patterns. Like this weekend, I'm on 45 feet, 39 mils, so long and very heavy volume. So I can give a little bit of an idea of like, this is how I play this pattern and why I play this pattern. So I kind of do that in the tournament recap. So I do it to a certain degree. I just don't do it on YouTube as much. Juan, what do you suggest? Buying a ball from a pro shop or a bowling web store that sells volumes? It all depends on your situation. If you have a close pro shop and if your pro shop has deals where like if you buy it through them, you get a ball cheaper, buy whatever's cheapest. The ball is going to be the same no matter what, but you do have to get it drilled no matter what. Some pro shops charge more money if you buy it online. I like to buy my stuff online a lot because I drill my own equipment. So I can get stuff, for fairly cheap online at times. I am also partnered with bowling.com, so it's a great place to go for that stuff, but I check the prices out, see what the pros and cons will be. Let's see. Ben, is the real time good for playing the right side of the lane during the high school meets? That is a question I cannot answer. Because there's a lot of variables that go into it. How do you throw the ball? Revs and speed, lane surface, pattern. There's a lot that can go into it. It is a ball that's fairly close to the hyperdrive pearl, so I don't think that's an option. If your hyperdrive pearl is hooking too much, you got to go with a weak ball. You got to go with like a vibe or a hustle or something like that. Steve, my alley has a pro shop, but right now no one is running it. I think the next closest is 3 hours out. That's insane. That is crazy. You must be in small town. Man, that makes it tough. Yeah, you really do need a pro shop to be able to drill a ball. I mean, you need somebody to do that. Chris, for someone who's never thrown urethane going into college, would you suggest getting something like a concept or getting a 70 AD? I would wait. I would wait a little bit. I don't think the college rule set for the year has come out yet. I would recommend concept first before a 78 hardness, because I know the college urethane rules were like all over the place for the last 8 months, it seems like. So I would definitely recommend concept first. And Big Mike, should you treat a motive shadow tank like a urethane? Yeah. Yeah, you should treat it like a urethane. Also, trade it in for a good urethane. The shadow is not a great ball. But yeah, if you want it to be like to not flare at all, then you could go 5x5x2. The first and last number are the only things that matter there. You're in a small town in Kentucky, yeah. Unfortunately, the best thing is you got to try to find, try to go find a pro shop somewhere. And what kind of hustle? I've thrown one. I think the X-Ray. Yeah, X-Ray is a really good one. Otherwise, VP or SOS are going to be good as well. I think Luke is stealing your viewers. That what? No, that jerk. Yeah, he is online. Jeez. Oh, they have their Scratch League draft recap. God. Man, he's lucky. He's lucky he's 8 hours away. I'd go hunt him down. Now, yeah, go check out Luke's stream after this. We are going to do a last call. We're at about 7:55 right now. So last call for questions if you got anything else. Before you leave, make sure to go hit the follow button on all the platforms. Follow or subscribe. Remember, we are live on everything right now. We also have a Patreon if you want some coaching or Arsenal reviews. We have a Discord if you want to go talk all things bowling. We have a website. I have a lot of different deals that are popping up here for a bunch of different companies. If you want to have an app that helps you track your rev rate and ball speed, go check out Lane Tracks. Code ZVL will get you a good chunk of money off. So make sure to go check that out. But let's see what these last final questions are. Jake B, what is a weight hole? I started after they were banned. You do not use them. A weight hole was banned back in like 2021 or so. So the purpose of it was to generally, the goal was to add more flair to your ball. There were different spots you could actually drill an extra hole into your ball that would cause it to hook more, hook earlier, hook less, do a bunch of different things. There were a bunch of weird spots you could drill it. I do remember one called the Mo hole. It was one of Mo Pinnell's crazy ideas where you actually drill a ball on the opposite side of your grip. Like you put a weight hole there and it does something funky. I forgot what it was, but there were a lot of different things you could do to change change the reaction of a ball. It actually was easy for pro shops because if somebody didn't like how you drilled a ball, you just pop a weight hole in it and it generally would roll pretty okay. So the banning of them was trying to lower the amount of hook in bowling balls, which did work. So it was a good change. And as a pro shop guy, I love it. So I don't have to worry about what weight holes did what. It was nice. Night Cap'n, what's up, man? Copper drop coming soon. Oh, yes, actually. In 15 hours from now, we will have a new Copper Drop episode. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Central Time, we'll have our YouTube video drop for Cop or Drop. So be ready for that. We have a couple of bigger deals with some of the new discontinued stuff. And it really focuses on bowling.com's weekend sales. So in like 2 days, we are going to bowling.com is going to have their weekend sale, and a lot of these balls will come back on sale. So their prices vary all over the place. So I tried to get the lowest prices I could find from each of them of the last week. And Andrew, Tank Blitz and the Desert Tank were good. Oh, Tank Blitz is the GOAT ball. Absolutely. I love that thing. I still have one. K1N, will drilling pin down on an asymmetrical ball make the reaction more like a symmetrical? No. What you should do if you want to make it a symmetrical ball is actually drill the thumb into the mass bias. That is how you make an asymmetrical ball symmetrical. So if you actually want that symmetrical feel, yeah, put the thumb directly into the mass bias, and then it's asymmetrical ball. Then it takes out the asymmetry. That's how you have it, so that you get rid of the asymmetry of it. But no, pin down won't really do that. Jonathan, any tips on working in and left? I tend to pull a lot of shots when moving left. What direction your shoulders face is what matters. So if you're used to playing a lot straighter, your shoulders are going to be very, very square to your target. You got to make sure those shoulders are actually following when you're playing in. So you got to open up those shoulders more to be able to get that ball projected to the right. Eric Howard, Radical Intel Core. Is it good or should I get a Turbo X? Oh, the Intel Tour already seems way better than the Turbo NU. Yeah, way better. When you drill a ball and change the numbers, how does plugging the ball change them? So the plug is lighter than the actual ball weight, so it changes them a little bit, not really enough for us to notice. The main thing when you plug a ball is you don't want your ball rolling over the plug. That's the big thing. It really doesn't, it's not something that's noticeable. Again, like somebody mentioned, Hickland has it that a bowling ball's layout is 7% of the ball's reaction. we cannot notice if a ball is plugged, how it drills versus if it's not. So don't worry much about it at all. And DM looking for a weaker ball to play straighter for league. Two-handed, very rev dominant. You're going to want like an NU 2.0 or honestly, like a Fury. Something super weak is going to be your play. Fury or NU 2.0 will be the play. And Cody's enjoying his Turbo X. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But all right, that is going to be it for today's session, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream today. Again, remember, make sure to subscribe or follow. Huge thank you to all of our sponsors and partners who are up here. If you want a ZVL chamois, DH Labs has a bunch of them. We have a lot more incoming as well. So we're going to have a lot of that great stuff. Turbo products, go check them out for all of your bowling accessory, finger grip, and thumb needs. There's going to be a video on the new Turbo NX thumb interchangeable system very, very soon. So far, I'm a huge fan. Bowling.com, go buy anything online, any of your online bowling needs through them. EFX, use code ZVL for 10% off any jerseys or really cool sweatshirts that they have. Make sure to go check them out. And then we already talked about Turbo. G Fuel, use code ZVL Bowling for 30% off some caffeine or hydration packs. Their hydration packs are really, really good from G Fuel. And then Recruit Us. If you are somebody trying to get recruited for the college season, go check out Recruit Us. It's the best place to check out. But otherwise, like I said, tomorrow a Copper Drop episode drops. On Sunday, we have a shoe guide with a review of the 2 newest KR shoes. And we have a lot of other really cool stuff incoming in the next week or so. If you didn't know, we do have a podcast as well. Go check that out on Spotify or Apple. It is called The Bowling Breakdown with ZVL Bowling. Make sure to go check it out. Otherwise, I want to thank all of you guys for reaching out, for hanging in today and hopping in the stream. If you do want to watch more bowling, go watch Luke Rosedahl right now. He's live right now. Go check him out. Go say ZVL sent you. Send him a little heart, whatever it may be. Make sure you subscribe when you're over there. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all on the next one.